next anime that we're going to be talking about is City the Animation, and someone, somewhere, must have heard my goddamn video last week, because I talked about how last week I was like, oh yeah, sure, things are fine, but things aren't crossing enough, and, you know, it feels like we're not getting much interest in yada yada yada. This episode was not only, like, a fairly better, interesting episode than last week, but it had so many more callbacks and crossovers. We had the dude who was in the original first episode who was eating the ramen, finding out that he broke the leg of another girl who was also, he's interacting with our main cast in that restaurant shop. We saw the soccer team come back. We saw like other players come back and all that cool stuff. I actually really enjoyed this episode and everything that it did. Even certain like very small story beats, like the two high school girls where one is moving, and then our main cast where obviously there's probably still some affection going on there between the two. Not in like a romantic way, but in like a friendship, adoration way. I like it. I like it a lot. And you know what? It's brought me back around. The second episode brought me a little bit down. I'll say a little bit down. Actually brought me quite down. But it has brought me quite a lot back up. And it makes me more excited to watch the show. The only thing I will say is that I wish we still just focused more on the three girls. Like, I'd rather have the three girls and maybe their adjacent families just interacting with everybody. Like, the stories were told through, like, with the three girls interacting with, like, how we got actually a little bit with this episode where the tomboy-like character ran into the girl with the broken leg who also interacted with the soccer team and all that stuff, yada, yada, yada. Like, I appreciate stuff like that, because I think it's nice to have a central focus. This season, with two different anime, City Animation and 2B Hero X, does show me that I think it is good for some anime, if not having at least some type of structure, or having some type of, like, anchor that you can revolve a story around is good. I think it's good to have an anchor because I think some people get lost, but it also depends on what you're doing. Like if it's an anthology series, or if you're doing a JoJo style thing, but it's also like every episode you're telling that type of story, then fine. But obviously there are continuous stories throughout, and there's obviously like a central character. There's a central trio that we have. So I still would appreciate it if it's centered around them. Kind of like the author's previous work, Nichicho, which I made up. I made sure to look that up. But yeah, Nichicho felt like it centered around at least the girls that we followed mainly in that show. I do think things were maybe a tad bit more hectic there, but I wish City the Animation did that exact same thing. It doesn't really, but I'm still enjoying it regardless. And of course, the animation is also as good as well, which I need to look what studio does the animation to this, because both Nichijo and City the Animation both have just stunning visuals despite not being like the typical traditional anime look that it has. And I wish they did more in that sense. I don't know if it's just because of the way the author has it. The author has like a big hand on how they depict their worlds, but I would love to see just more of this animation style in other anime in general, because it's plain and it's simple, but it's also like really fluid and really clean and really crisp. They showed it a lot in this episode where the broken girl with the leg has a butler and he uses like a chain, which I'm a sucker for changing strings. I'm a sucker for changing strings when it comes to people in anime. And like, but the way that they have it animated is so cool. I love it so much. Like, I would love this style of animation for like a battle anime, but like just like a goofy comedic battle anime. I need that in my life because I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be cool. But yeah, not much else to say. It doesn't seem like we're gonna have some type of continuous through line, because Tomboy of the trio got kidnapped, but it's by the girl with the broken leg and her butler, so I assume it's not going to be anything like too serious or whatnot. So that will come into play, but honestly, other than that, yeah, nothing else to really much report for City the Animation. City the Animation is City the Animation. That's the difficulty with the stories like these. Like, yeah, we could, break down like the good stuff and whatnot, because there are various stories, but like, there's not much to go off of, honestly. Like,